We were all cherry-cheeked anime fans at some point. Sadly, that time usually ends with a bang. It's time for bad anime shows to get what they finally deserve. No matter how many episodes or how bad it is, I'll prevail and beat them all. It's time for Undroppable.
What if I told you there was a show out there that was about a guy helping to slay monsters and save the world with the power of his mighty erection? Well, the title's already given it away, but either way, look no further than So I Can't Play H, produced by Studio Feel in the summer of 2012, and adapts the original light novel by Pan Tachibana, which also received a manga adaptation with illustrations by Sho Okigiri, with an English release of the manga starting in 2015 and being brought to us by the publisher Yen Press, while the anime, and its new catchy title, being brought to the English-speaking nations by Sentai Filmworks. So let's dive into this one without delay. This story is about Ryosuke, a high school boy who, like pretty much every kid that age, thinks about girls. But this guy does have what could be considered a noble trait, as while he is a pervert, he's not only honest about this fact, but he also treasures women above all else. And he does not force anything on these women or any woman. In fact, him being so honest makes him far less harmful to these women than, say, this guy who is almost his exact opposite. But Ryosuke isn't just a normal pervert that stumbles into boobs and butt like his hands are magnets for them. He has perhaps the most powerful imagination known to man at his command. Like, this guy can find an erotic angle to anything. If you left him alone in a room, he'd find a way to get off on the details of the walls surrounding him. We also have his childhood friend Mina, who, after being with him all her life and seeing his good sides as well as how he came to develop his attitudes towards women, has come to fall in love with him, but can't get him to look her way, even though she's the type of girl he likes. We also have the Shinigami characters from Grimworld. We have the slender redhead Lisara, the short busty Kyuru, and the super busty life insurance idol Iria. So let's talk about the world, as along with our world there is the Shinigami world of Grimworld, that requires energy collected from the dead to fuel the equivalent of their sun. This energy is collected at the moment of death, and is important to note it is not the soul, but more like the glue that connects the soul to the body. After it's collected, the soul moves on to the afterlife, to which they state even the Shinigami don't know what happens to the soul after it's passed on. The amount of energy produced is linked to the driving force of the person, as someone who's very passionate about something and works their hardest to achieve it will produce more than one that does not. Equally, someone who achieves their passion will produce even more, which leads us into the main mission, where Lisara is after a special someone that is able to achieve their life passion. Doing so, she intends to use this energy to save her world from Galderborg, who has rebelled against Grimworld's royal family, of which Lisara and her family proudly serve. There is a huge tonal shift in this anime, and it's very noticeable as it does occur between episodes 6 and 7, where we end with the raunchy fun humour, and we change to a more serious plotline about the importance of living life to the fullest, as well as living and being true to your passions will make you greater than denying or suppressing them. I can see why people wouldn't like this, as it does get a lot heavier, especially when you go into this thinking it's going to be a fun little show, like say Astaroth no Omocha, but gives you an almost bait and switch. Even if it had been dropping slight hints beforehand, if I look at this as an anime with two parts, the second is by far stronger, as this is where the actual plot is, and is very good in terms of tone and overall message. But the first half is also nice, as it's very classic turn your brain off humour, but then being presented both together like this is where the downfall is, as they both hinder each other and end up working against each other due to their huge tonal shift. If they had been one or the other with elements of the other sprinkled in, it could have been a fairly good show to watch, but as it is, it ends up as a slight mess. A very watchable mess, you just have to be prepared for the shift. But this also does allow you to enjoy the show if it was more serious. And now you guys know the origin of my spoiler warning, so I'll catch you guys in the next Undroppable.